So these are the questions to get to know you, and you have done this in the poll. All right, and so this is what we are going to talk to you about today. There are three things, three main contents. Number 3 is my favorite number because according to me, I remember in some science study that people tend to remember mostly three first things or three last things on the list, very long list. And today, usually we talk a lot, but I would like you to remember a lot too. And so I will start with something with number 3. And so the main things we are talking today are 3 things about kids and some activities or games. And the last thing is also 3 things to remember. First, we will start with 3 things about kids. Actually, you have done the poll, right? And there are other adjectives to talk about the kids, right? But because I said I prefer the number 3 because it's easy for everybody to remember the first 3 things. And so I want you to remember all 3 things. So I'm going to say about 3 things about kids in class. All right? They are adorable, sure. You have nice students in class like this. All right? This is very good. All right? And so you can see, right, they are very motivated and they raise hand with very nice teacher, right? But this is not the case that happen in all the classes. And so sometimes you can find yourself in a class like this. Can you see what happened in the second class? Okay, so you see that the teacher, right, is teaching and at her back, and then the students are doing something else. They are very playful. Maybe because the teacher is not engaging enough. She doesn't have enough engaging activities to get the student involved. And so that's why we think, why? And we will find the result or the resolution. So because the kids, the young learners are easily motivated. Actually, when you are in class, you look beautiful and you prepare the lesson well, you are well dressed and you look so friendly and so beautiful, and they adore you. And they're nice to you and they are easily motivated by the teacher. And so they are easily motivated. They will be adorable, they will be obedient, they are very disciplined. But, right, remember one more thing. Look at the picture. This is quite exaggerated, right? This means people, human, all right? Especially kids has short attention span. All right, this is I say, exaggerated. Actually, you can keep attention not only 10 seconds, 8 seconds, but according to some science study, I remember for the young learners in a normal class, if you have activity that should not last longer than 10 to 15 minutes, and that will be less in an online class. And so don't have very long activities. And also, you don't have games all the time, and so maybe you need various activities to keep them engaged in class. So 3 things about kids we need to remember to deal with them in class, that they are easily motivated, but they have short attention span, and so you need to prepare to get them engaged in various activities in class, especially all the classes when they need to stay right in front of the screen. The next part we are going to suggest some activities or games to use in online classes. I will deal with some of the most things at the beginning. And right after that, Ms. T will say about that. I would like to say about some activities we are going to suggest during the lesson stages, like attention getters, vocabulary memory check, structure practice, stories, and exit. Actually, these are not the flow of a normal lesson. We are not going to say that for an online lesson, we are going through these stages. I just mean that the suggestion we have here can use in different stages of a lesson. Okay, for example, we are going to suggest something to get attention. All right, and some activities for vocabulary memory check. And this vocabulary memory check can be used as a warm-up, all right, for different purposes. For example, a warm-up or practice, control practice, or maybe a consolidation at the end of the lesson. And also the activities for the structure practice, all right, can use as warm-up to review a previous lesson or as practice. All right, after they learn the structure, or that may be something at the end, toward the end of the lesson to consolidate the structure they learn. Or the stories, as some activity or application we recommend here today can be used as a presentation of the lesson or homework. All right, and the exit, we suggest something to do toward the end before you say goodbye, as a way to say goodbye to the student online. Okay, so don't think that these are the stages of the normal lesson. These are just some part of the lesson that we recommend or we suggest some activities or games. For the attention getters, that should be as usual, should be very simple. Yeah, for them. For the teachers also, should be very loud and exciting. I like to do this. I learned this when I did some project at the British Council. I learned from other colleagues. We are learning all our life. And so I like this. The teacher may start with something like 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. And the student will say, 1, 2, eyes on you. Okay. For example, Ms. T, can you say, can you be a student? And I will say, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Okay, just like that. And also remember number 3 here, exciting. Exciting. If you say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, it's not exciting. And so you can change your voice, can change your tone and make it more exciting, like 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Okay, more excitement in your voice, all right, with your facial expression, for example, that will get the attention of the student, even, all right, they are somewhere else, not in front of you, okay? Or you can get attention with other things like, okay, maybe a puppet. Do you see the puppet? The Polly? Yeah. Okay, or a tambourine. Or you can have bell. Right, these are loud and that is exciting, especially with the ice cream bell. All right, children like ice cream. And so ice cream bells, all right, call them to the screen. Or you can have the field wheel to start, to show something very colorful like this, and also, right, increase interaction with the student. You can start with, say, asking them, how are you? And you look at this, they feel real, and ask them to type in the chat box to say, I'm sad today, I'm mad, I'm happy. They can chat. All right, they can type in the chat box, and when you read, you express with your face. Ah, you are happy. Oh, why are you so mad? Okay. Right, I think that's good enough for me to start with attention gather. And you are going to have more exciting activities to come. And so Ms. Thi will talk about some suggestion with activities and games later. Over to you, Thi. Sorry.
Hello again, everyone. Okay. So, traditionally, the image of a teacher in Vietnam is associated with the platform and a board. Here on Zoom platform, we also have a whiteboard and we can do as many things we can in a real classroom. So now let's play snake game together. We have two teams. Okay, so let's see who's in the house. Team A, we have Anthony, Lauren, Mala, and Team B, let's see. We have Jason, Paul, Athena. You remember the snake game that we often play in class? So, Team A, please give me one word. Oh, it is. Sorry, it was frozen. So, Team A, please give me one word. So, I have orange, okay? So, orange. Orange, right. Team B, please give me one word. We have banana, okay, banana. So, Team A, the next word will start with the last letter of your first word. So, it will be, tell me the word that begin with letter E. Yes, so you have eraser, very good. Right, and Team B, another word start with A. So that is game. Now, tell me, how do you normally reward your students after a game? Oh, we have stars, we have, let's see, chocolates, yes, candy and stickers. Oh, I love stickers. And here we can also give our students stickers too. So with Class Dojo, we can use to give our students stickers. So Mala, great job. You have 2 stickers. And Anthony, well done, 2 stickers for you. And Lauren, brilliant, 3 stickers. And Paul, very good, 1 sticker, for example. And I'm sure that your students will like the monsters here and also the stickers that you give them. So the snake that comes to the other end of the ball first can win and get the stickers. Yes, there is snake game and Class Dojo. What I want to say is many of the techniques that we have been using successfully in a real classroom can be used here online to make our lessons as engaging as possible. So now we have another activity, binomials, binomial pairs. Normally, we use rhyming pairs and pairs of words that are joined by and or, such as up and down, more or less, sooner or later, take it or leave it. Yes, you are right. So we are going to adapt this a little bit to make a game to review as well as to expand students' vocabulary. So to do this, we will use the whiteboard and the chat box. It depends on the student's level that you may want to use the chat box or just simply let your students shout out the answers. Like Ms. Dao said, a little noise at the beginning of the lesson is necessary to break the ice. So if you just use chat box, you type half of a binomial and your students type the word to complete the pair. You've got to set time limit too, say 10 seconds or 15 seconds, then you can count the answers to see which team has the most answers. Here, please remember that time management is very important, especially when you teach a class of 45 minutes or an hour. Therefore, an activity like this should last roughly 5 minutes. Now let's give this a try. So you type on the whiteboard, love, and you set time, 10 seconds. Now go, everyone please use the chat box. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Love and peace, love and hate. Yes, a lot. Yes, that is how it works. And we can have different versions too. We can try with the irregular verbs, synonyms, antonyms, rhyming words. So you can say the verb and your students say simple past or past participle form of the verb. Okay, so certainly the children find it really hard sitting at one fixed place for an hour. When you find them start yawning or start playing with the computer like this or become distracted with things around them. So it's time and do some TPR. So My suggestion here, indoor scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt is a good solution when you find your students start to look bored. So you give a list of several items. The items here are the words that they have learned, and you set a time limit, say 3 minutes, and the children are going to run around the room, run around the house to look for the items. Yes, and who has the most items can win 5 stickers, for example. And please don't forget to ask them to tidy up after the lesson too. Now the next activity, feminism. We often use this game for grammar practice. Let's see how it works. Students choose 2 numbers. Any numbers, 2 numbers. There is a picture underneath each number. The job is for students to make a meaningful sentence about the pictures using a structure that they have just learned. It could be relative clause, or present continuous, or future would be going to. And yes, students make meaningful sentence about the pictures, and teachers give feedback or correction. What I like about this game is that the students have to think critically in order to make a meaningful sentence with the structure that we want them to use. So let's give it a try. Miss Dao, could you choose 2 numbers, please?
Yeah, I am a student now.
Yes, please.
I'm a student now, huh? So can you, I would like to choose number 1 and number 2.
Number 1 and number 2. Okay. So the structure is be going to. Please make a sentence.
Okay, so the family is going to go to the park this weekend.
The family is going to
Correct.
The park this weekend. Okay, great job, Miss Dao. So you have, oh sorry, we have pictures underneath each number. So the students are going to make meaningful sentences. Sometimes students have to think very hard in order to find the connection between the 2 pictures and write a meaningful sentence. And it can be fun too. Now, the next one, bookcreator.com. If you attended Miss Dao's session at Tesol conference last year about storytelling, you must remember the technique called theater reading and flip it, which brings to the classroom lively moments with lots of acting and role playing. Now, after lots of laughter and fun, we come to the last stage, that is story summary. I have an idea for this, and we can set it as homework. Students can work individually to retell the setting, include the characters or the events, but in a very creative way. Now, let's look at this. This book was made by an 11-year-old student.
The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time.
Can you hear me there?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, there was a tortoise and a hare.
No one can beat me.
No one can beat me. Let's race and find out.
Let's race and find out.
And the race started. The hare was young and fast. The tortoise was old and slow.
I'm so hungry.
The hare was hungry. He stopped for a snack. The tortoise took one step after another. The hare was sleepy, so he took a nap.
I'm so sleepy.
The tortoise took one step after another and passed the hare. When the hare was too
Oh,
What do you think? So cool, isn't it? I really love book creator. Just easy to use, and students can record themselves, insert pictures, videos, can write, can draw. So there's lots of room for them to develop their creativity, and we can take advantage of this. So for stories, we can ask students to come up with another ending, or for more challenging, we can give them the setting and they can develop the story. Or we can use it as a writing task as well. For example, usually you ask students to go home and write a paragraph about their favorite holiday or about their family. So with book creator, everything becomes more lively. The students can do like this. They go to book creator. Yes, they choose new book and they can choose the shape of their book as well. So let's see this one. They can choose the cover. Yes, and they can add text such as my holiday. Yes, and yeah, this is the place for them to show their skills, their arts. So they can choose this. Choose the let's see this one. Okay, and can make it italics. Okay. So go to the next page. Here, the content. So instead of writing a paragraph, your students can here import the pictures, for example. For example, they can choose each and choose, select. Yes, the picture stay here. They can choose their own picture from their computer as well. And here, something else. This is Phuoc Island. Yes. So have here. Choose the color of the text. Phuoc Island. Okay. And they can also record themselves. Let's see. Record. Yes. Now start recording. I had a marvelous holiday here with my family last year. And stop recording. Use recording. Yes, and yeah. I had a marvelous holiday here with my family last year. Okay, so they can add the content to more pages. Yes. Okay, so what do you think? Very nice, very cool. And with Book Creator, everything becomes more lively. Usually, to mark students writing homework, you may have to read about 20 paragraphs, and you may find it boring and time-consuming, energy-consuming. So now your students just publish the book online and give you the link. So you just follow the link and read and just sit and relax. And or you can also ask the book creator to read for you. Let's look at this as an example. So the paragraph is about my family. So you ask book creator to read for you.
My family. There are 3 people in my family. My dad is a doctor. He helps sick people. My mom, Anna, is a teacher. She teaches at a school near my house. It's me, Nick. I'm 8.
In my free time, I like reading books, play chess. Sometimes I play basketball with my friends or go swimming at the pool.
I love mom and dad.
Okay. So the normally tedious job becomes so lively, so eye-catching, and therefore more relaxing, right? And when you have time, please explore more about Book Creator. I really love this Book Creator. And I'm sure that you will find it really, really interesting. For stories, there's a wide range of applications that teachers can use to develop students' creativity and critical thinking skill, like Storyboard, Flipgrid, and many other useful tools too. Now, I have another one. What are these? Oh, tickets. Yes, they are asset tickets. So you want to make sure when your students leave the class, they have something to bring home. It works like this. Each student chooses one number and answer the question underneath the number. If they can answer the question, they can go home. Oh, they are already home, so never mind. But if all students can answer the questions, it means the teacher has achieved the objective of the lesson and therefore can happily end the meeting, right? So let's give this a try.
Need our help? You need my help?
Yes, Miss Dao, please give me one number.
Number 1 as usual.
Number 1. Please tell me your 2 favorite pets.
My 2 favorite pets are goldfish and a cat.
Well done. Okay. So far, we have some activities for warmers, memory check, structure practice, home assignment, and cooler. Now, Ms. Dao will certainly have something more interesting to tell you. Over to you, Ms. Dao.
Thank you, Thi, for your exciting activities and games. So now I would like to share something with you. All right. So the last part of our session today, our presentation today is 3 things to remember. So, can you recognize this? Some of you may recognize this. All right. This is a page from the book we are using at our campuses at the VUS. All right. And so, this is what I usually think that people will start the lesson like this. Open your book to page 12. Today, we'll learn lesson 2, campaign. Do you like that? Do you think that students will like that? I don't like that. And so, what I suggest is you may forget the flow suggested in the textbook by the publisher or by the book writer. You can start with something like showing this picture to the student for them to guess. So I would like to ask my student, I'd like to show this to my student and ask 3 questions. Okay, so with the eye, that means my question is, what do you see? With the brain, my question is, what do you think? And the last question is, what do you wonder? And so, my student will answer the question with something very simple because they are kids. And so, they will answer with very simple answer like, I see. Ms. T, what do you see? Okay, are you there, T? Okay, maybe she's not there, and so, attendees, you can type in the chat box.
I see lots of boys and girls.
Okay, right, attendee, you can type in the chat box and we can read it later. Okay, so you can see a lot of boys and girls. And what about the men and the woman in blue jacket? Okay, what do you think? And then the answer will say, I think, Ms. T, what do you think?
I think they are having a camping trip.
You are so smart, right? You are as smart as our learners. Okay. And what do you wonder?
I wonder when Vietnamese students can have the field trips like this.
Okay, maybe I want to look at this and I myself wonder if they will explore something in the cave. All right, in the cave in the corner. And that may be very exciting to explore the cave during the camping trip. All right, and so my suggestion is to give the student a meaningful context for each lesson they have, even if you have an online class. With the 3 questions, remember this to get them engaged, to allow them to speak, allow them to express their own idea, allow them to develop, to boost their imagination, all right, and logical thinking. Because when you check with the feedback, why do you think so, or why do you wonder, you encourage them to have logical thinking, that express their own idea, all right? And so, what do you see? What do you think? what do you want, and give them the meaningful context, give them a reason, allow them to be aware of why they need to learn the language, so that in the future, after the lesson, they will use the language in authentic situation. The second thing we need to remember is to check with your lesson flow so that you will have varied activity, all right, to engage them. Because you remember that the students, they have short attention span, and so you need to have varied activities. You can vary the times of the activities and games during a lesson, and make sure that the activities and games are very short, around 5 minutes to 10 minutes only. Vary the time. Maybe you start with some activity, run around, scavenger hunt, or the next one will be write board race, or you have the snake games, or you tell some short story. Yeah, you can vary the content. That means maybe you can use the same type of game, a different lesson with different content. For example, I like the chain game. All right, at this time we use, I like to use a chain game with word chain, and next time that maybe sentence chain, and maybe for the story you have chain story. And vary the purposes. You can use the same, some activity with different purposes. For example, you use a game for this lesson, and you use to warm up to review the previous lesson. In another lesson, and you will use it at the end to consolidate the lesson you learned that day. Okay, and the last thing, this is very interesting. I like this a lot. The class tool. I believe that you are a teacher, and all right, and so for the online classes these days, and you use Zoom. And I think that you need to exploit the function on Zoom like polls, right, to increase the interaction between the teacher and the students. And you also use a chat box for other activities and game like Ms. T suggested in the previous part, and also the whiteboard. You can use the class dojo to deliver cue stickers, and also assignment, home assignment as well. I hope you remember the wheel of names that Mr. Stephen Harper mentioned in his previous webinar. I'm not going to talk about this because he had given you an example of using this wheel of name in variations. And also classroom screen. Ms. T, I think that she showed you how to use it, and you can explore this because that's quite new, right? Quite new to us, maybe, and new to you, maybe. Explore it. If you can go to the internet, and then you type in Google, or you search for it on YouTube. Okay, and many other virtual tools. The more interesting thing is about do it yourself. I think because sometimes if we have technical issues, if you don't have good internet connection or Wi-Fi connection, and then what do? You can bring other things that you prepare, that you have used in your normal classes, right on into the online classes, like the flashcard, for example. Can you see this? Okay, this is not expensive. All right, some of you can afford. All right, you have enough money to buy flashcard from the publisher, but some are not so rich. Also, have enough money because you need, all right, at this time you need to be very savvy. And so you can download these pictures from coloring pages from the internet, and then you can color it yourself. And then you put in a lock right back like this, all right? Reusable. or you can make it plastic. Okay. The plastic case is like this, and then you can put in the picture you made. Okay, and then you can change it. You use the plastic case, and you can use it right this way. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yes, and the other side. This is not as expensive as you buy the flashcard from the publisher. Right, the publisher may not like this, but right, if you have money to buy the flashcard from the publisher, it's good. They look professional, beautiful. But if you don't, or you want to try to make it your own style, you can do this. Okay, or you can do this. All right, these are reusable, cheap. All right, if you can laminate them, okay. But if you don't, you can use, right, something like this. All right, and you change only the content. Reusable, and you use this for a very long time for different flashcards and different lesson. Okay, so, right, you can have some colorful photos and maps and alphabet chart. You can have some finger and sock puppet. Okay, for example, even with the fingers, you can use a marker and draw faces on your finger and talk to the children. Right, like this, or you can use your own sock to make puppets, to make a new you reuse the sock. Okay. You can make some visual tools, hashtag or microphone like this. Right, thank you, Ms. Trang, another TQM of US for this thing, for these beautiful pictures. Or you can use, all right, to make fun reward system with reusable stickers. Look at this. Okay, this is, you can bring the mini board, whiteboard, right? You usually use this, right, in your normal class, and you print this to your online classes too. You can make the colorful stickers, right? And you stick it here, and you can, right, put the score here, right? I like this. What about you? Do you like it? Okay, or you can use this and you write the markers here. Right, they will like this. And the reusable sticker, I like the idea of reusable thing, reusable teaching aids. Okay, so to wrap up the 3 things to remember, do you remember the 3 things? What is number 1 to remember? Okay, to make it short, ask you a question. Are you sure to provide them meaningful context in the lesson? All right, to make them remember, aware of why they should learn the language. Sometimes the students, why should I learn this and that? All right, I give them a meaningful context and help them to be aware that they are learning this language so that they will use it in the future, right, in life. And ask you yourself, right, about your activities. When you plan the lesson, they varied enough, right, to get them engaged in your activities, or they get bored. And finally, before you go to your online classes, right, come in front of the screen, and then you ask your question, are all of your teaching aids prepared? Ready? So 3 things to remember. Finally, I'd like to give my final thoughts before I end my presentation. Our presentation is work hard, all right? As we are, most of us here are teachers. And when you are here, listen to me, listen to us, you are very dedicated teachers. And so I believe that you are working hard. And so when you work hard, you'll find out a lot of things, okay? And you are willing, you are ready, you are happy to try new things, like new application, new functions of right internet, of applications, of platforms, and even you can try to use the old things in a new way. Okay? And when you do that, I believe that you make the difference. You will be an outstanding teacher and not a teacher that will be different from thousands or millions of teachers who are using Zoom right out there. Okay, and the student will remember you as a quite different teacher, a unique teacher, right? They remember you very long. Okay, so that's the end of our presentation. And so I think Ms. T will take over the question and answer part, and I will join too. Whenever I think that I need to join, I'll be able to answer some questions. And so over to you, Ms. T.
Hello again. I hope that you like some of our suggestions for class activities and would like to try them in your own class. Now, here comes question and answers.
Ms. Whitley and Ms. Dao. So it comes to the Q&A. You can type your questions in the Q&A button in your Zoom, or you can type your question in the chat box. We try to answer as many as we can. You can see the question in the Q&A. There's a question for Ms. T that if the student want to use the book creator, do they need to have the account for that? Ms. T? Ms. T, can you hear me? Hello, Ms. T, can you hear me?
Oh, the question from Helen, do students need to create an account to use Book Creator, right?
Yes.
Yes. Students need an account and teachers need an account too. So you can go to Book Creator and you create the account, just like the account that you create for a mailbox. You just get the account and register with your email and password, and then done.
It's quite simple, right?
Yes, very simple and very easy.
Yeah. Another question is from Andrew. He said, where can he find the flashcards? Is there any way that he can make the flashcard himself or something? Can you suggest, have any suggestion?
Flashcards, you can create the flashcards yourself. If you do not afford the physical flashcards from bookshops, you can download the pictures. If you don't want to get it printed out, you can also store the pictures in a folder and you use as the normal flashcards.
Thanks. Okay, another question is about how to motivate your student to speak in class. From an attendee, some students in my class are likely to keep silent all the time, despite the fact that I've motivated them a lot to speak up. Only good response is, I don't know. Any suggestions for these cases?
This normally happens. Students tend to keep silent all the time. So we have to look more closely at this problem, whether the students keep silent because they do not have enough vocabulary to answer the question, or because the topic is not their cup of tea, or because their behavior, they want to show their objection or something. So we've got to look more closely at this matter. If it is because their level is too low and they cannot answer the question, we need to give them more vocabulary, more support. If they want to show their objection, it is the time you have to ask student care staff in order to interfere and tell their parents about it.
And I also would like to add an idea that is good, that you should prepare the student because they feel confident only when they learn the lesson well. So make sure that you help them feel confident enough before they speak. And so to prepare them, you need to present the vocabulary, the structure they need. And sometimes you need to give them the silent time. All right, don't push them too hard at the beginning. And then when they don't feel confident enough, they will keep silent. And so don't push them enough. But gradually build the rapport with them. Okay, that depends on you also. So the teacher for kids, it's not easy for you to teach the kids. You need to create good rapport with them. So you need to be very friendly. All right, with your smile. Smile with them first to build good rapport first. And then you need to be very supportive. All right, to help them to learn the structure, the language point, the vocabulary. And then if they are not very confident at first, allow them some silent time. And suddenly, gradually, build up the confidence with them, the building the good rapport with them, and then someday they will speak. You will consider that big success. Okay, just be patient. And patience is necessary for teachers like us to work with children. Thank you for your question.
I think another question from Ms. Dao is, since you can't directly give the students stickers, how do you suggest us to make it more realistic online? Okay, it means that because when you teach online classes, right, you cannot give the student the sticker physically. How do you make it more realistic online?
Okay, I don't know what you mean by realistic online, but with things like this, just like I don't quite get what you mean, but with what I just said before, that depends on your report, your connection with the student. I remember time when I write off a sticker, real sticker in normal class with a student, and some say, I have lots of this at home. Yeah, and so this is how you talk with them to know that your sticker is special in some way. That depends on your relation with the students, with the kids. All right, if they trust you, if they like you, if they like the lesson with you, you engage them and they believe in you, for example, and they will like the sticker, even the virtual sticker you give them on the class dojo. And according to me, and then if you as long as I know, you use class dojo, and so you can build a platform to get message with the student and also with the parents in the future, and so they will get it and they will collect. Well, this is a good idea from one of the teacher that I have been worked with, that they can collect the stickers, and so they can exchange the stickers for something else from you. Okay, even with the virtual one. All right, you promise someday that you meet and maybe you have an offline meeting with them when the pandemic is over. All right, they can change the collection of these stickers, right, for something very nice from you. Okay, does it make sense?
Thanks, Ms. Dao. I have another question. In the 90-minute class, how many activities and games should we have to have the most useful lessons?
For me, that depends on, I think that depends on the nature of the lesson. But you can choose something very quick at the beginning. At least, I think maybe 3 at least. One quick activity or games at the beginning to get their attention, to warm them up, to get them motivated. maybe a hello song, for example, or something, or a quick game to review the previous lesson, and some game in the middle of, or some activity in the middle of the lesson, so that they can, just like the scavenger hunt, so that they can go run around, get off the screen for some minutes, and then they can get back, and they can stretch the body, and then can get back to the screen. And one last activity or games at the end, try to wrap up the lesson they learned that day, and make them feel in a good mood before they leave the classroom and wait for more online classes or more online lessons to come. What about you? What do you think? Hey, do you have any more idea? Hello, Thay.
The question from Kai Chi, right? 90 minutes class. I don't think that we should have the fixed number of activities for a period of class. But as we have already discussed, whenever we find the students feel yawning, we should change the activities, and we should let them stand up and do something physically. 90 minutes, it is quite something. It is rather long, but I don't know what age your students are. If they are children, elementary school, it will be a problem. So we need lots of activities for them. However, I think not the whole class 90 minutes, we cannot give them just activities after activities. They will feel too excited, and after the lesson, they do not remember anything. So there are some times when the lesson is exciting with lots of activities, and there's some time when they have to sit down and do the book work, and then we change. It is better, and it is the teacher who has to feel the feeling of the students, who has to feel the pace of the lesson in order to use the correct game or activity for the lesson. And please do not forget the objective of your lesson as well. Everything you do, you have to target the objective, the target language that you want to teach them 90 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mithy. And we have time for the last questions. Should we kiss through singing songs? Miss Dao, you answer?
Yeah, should we? We should. We should. Okay. According to I think that our own experience, and then we can remember song very long time. All right. For the new songs, for example, I myself, for the new song nowadays, I can't remember a lot of them, but I still remember the song I learned or I sang when I was very young. All right. After many decades, I still remember. And so that's why you find songs everywhere in every textbook. And so why shouldn't we teach them through song? Okay, so you can have the song very traditional way. I like, and this is my favorite song, like, this is the way we say hello, say hello, say hello. Okay, and ask them to do something. They can design activity with that. This is the way we say hello, say hello, say hello. This is the way we say hello every morning. For example, this is the way we say hello. This is the way we say hello, say hello, say hello. Okay, and when they sing the song and they enjoy singing the song with you, and then they will remember the language longer. And even you can change the word of the song, the lyrics of the song. All right, you adapt the song to help them remember the lesson, the language they learn longer. All right, and they understand it better. What do you think, Thay? You okay?
Yeah, I think songs, best way to help students like learn vocabulary, and from the songs, I think students can start like the language as well. So when they are still young, they listen to songs a lot, and then it becomes a routine, and they start falling in love with English through songs. And now it's time for them to go to school. So we can take advantage of songs and chants, teach them not just the words, the vocabulary, the structures, but also phonics as well.
All right, thanks, Ms. Thi and Ms. Dao, and thank you all. We have a lot of questions, but we don't have enough time to cover all. I believe that you can find the answers to your question in our upcoming webinars starting from next week. And again, sorry for the technical problems that we had at the beginning of our webinar, but we hope that you still enjoyed it, and we'll be able to find a few ideas to teach your class. Before we finish, please be reminded of the following things. So on the screen here, you can see the links to your survey and the certificates, right? I also, you will find this one in the chat box too. Also, please have a look at our website for the upcoming webinars and registration information. We still have 6 more to come. Thank you, and we hope to see you all again soon. Goodbye and stay safe.
VUS, your English, your future.